First of all, it's got to bring something to the city. Second of all, financial factors have got to be put in there. Traffic, nuisance, name it. Everything is looked at. Anyways, it was looked at in the past, and that hasn't changed. So again, I refer to the bylaws and the zoning.
I am very glad there's now a freeze, a temporary pause on development. We need to assess what we've got. We need to see what the projects in construction or already approved will have, the effect they'll have on our existing infrastructure and what it will mean if we add more. And I think that we need to examine our whole territory and take the time to make a new planning program that will reflect what citizens want and what's best for our city in an economic way. And 100% of the new residential towers that have gone up in the city are located, surprisingly, more than 1 kilometer away from the new REM station. So they don't have to pay the surcharge to be close to public transportation. But then why are we having densification when the people won't really be using necessarily the REM station? And they were allowed, given permission to build these residential towers partly because we were to densify near transportation.
Being a citizen of Pointe-Claire for so many years, I've seen a lot what is ongoing here. So I would say yes, I know what are the stakes. Getting to this specific election process nowadays, it is that I see that there is some sort of a escalation. For instance, we have 6 candidates for a position of city councilor, which is never seen ever since Pointe-Claire's city hall is established. For my part, the only basic one I can say, guys, well, you can count on me. Everything and anything is changing. So we have to make sure that we overpass the so-called proactive and to be the really acting. We have to be in the front. We have to assess what is upcoming this way to be ready for what is going to be, like to manage the processes. Thank you.
Zoning and development across the city, I think first and foremost we have to respect the green spaces that we have. We have to protect them. And if at all possible, look towards creating more green spaces. The zones, you have to respect the existing bylaws, and which is why I feel right now it is very important for everybody to participate in the public consultation process going forward. Because if you don't tell me what you want, what you really want, how can I take that to City Hall? And that will be one of the biggest factors in how I vote regarding zonings and construction.
The first factor is that Pointe-Claire is not Montreal. So the size of development, of building developed, needs to be according to that. Second thing is the infrastructure. We cannot build over infrastructure capacity. The sewage capacity, if it's reached, we need to stop, or else the project will reach the diminishing return trigger, which is not good for Pointe-Claire and its citizens.
Zoning is very simple. As I mentioned before, a most experienced potential member of council here, 8 years leading the Montreal Zoning Commission, or at least being the lead voice. Zoning is very simple. You follow the rules. You can never have spot zoning. You can never give an exemption for just one person, or Cadillac Fairview. Obviously, we're not going to let them do their contra Pointe-Claire plans. You follow the rules, and over time, things evolve. But what we do have to understand is, well, many of us don't like the giant houses going up and the like. As long as it's within the zoning, we have nothing to say about it. If it's lawful, then people can go ahead. Other things about zoning? Basically, yes, the important thing about zoning we must remember is the reason we have zoning there, zoning rules, is to protect the value of the investments already made by the people who have created the neighborhood. And when you make a zoning change, as Cadillac Fairview wants, then basically they're stripping value out of the rest of the neighborhood in order to make profit.